It's Bones here! We recently had some Yubel support revealed that changed this deck quite a lot, and for the better. But first, if you could destroy those thumbs up and subscribe buttons, it would mean a whole lot. Now, I'm going to go over the entire archetype since I know that we're getting Phantom Nightmare in about a couple of weeks, and the first card that we have here is Samsara Regenerating Lotus. It's a level 1 fiend with 0 attack and 0 defense, which is pretty important. It reads, you contribute this card as a cost, special summon 1 Yubel monster from your deck. During your opponent's turn, when a monster effect is activated while you control a Yubel monster, quick effect, you contribute this card as a cost. That effect becomes destroy 1 Yubel monster on the field. During your end phase, if you control a Yubel and this card is in your graveyard, you can either add it to your hand or special summon it. You can only use each effect of Samsara Regenerating Lotus once per turn. Now, we're going to normal summon it so that we can special summon out our next new card, and this is another card coming out in Phantom Nightmare. It's called Spirit of Yubel, and it's level 10 with 0 attack and 0 defense, also a fiend, like the original one, and it reads, cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. If this card is destroyed, you can special summon one of your Yubels that is banished or in your hand, deck, or graveyard, so that's really good, but you can only use each of the following effects of Spirit of Yubel once per turn, and when an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can take 1 spell trap from your deck that mentions Yubel, and either add it to your hand or set it to your field. So this card is similar to Spirit of Neos that came out for the hero deck in Power of the Elements, and we're going to use the effect of the Spirit of Yubel, and this will get our next new card, the Nightmare Pain. And the Nightmare Pain is another card coming in Phantom Nightmare. It's a continuous spell that reads, during your main phase, you can destroy 1 dark monster in your hand or face-up field. And if you do, add 1 Yubel or 1 card that mentions it except Nightmare Pain from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Nightmare Pain once per turn. While you control a Yubel monster, all your opponent's monsters that can attack must attack a Yubel monster. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving your Yubel monsters instead. So true to the theme, in order to make it so that your opponent has to attack your Yubel, have your Yubels go off inflicting damage to them, but we're going to use the effect of Nightmare Pain, and we're going to add ourselves the Grave Squirmer. This is the first new card that we'll be getting from Legacy of Destruction, and it's a level 1 fiend, also with 0 attack and 0 defense that reads, if you control a fiend monster, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. Then you can destroy 1 monster you control that is Yubel or mentions it. You can banish this card from your graveyard as a cost, special summon 1 fiend monster with 0 attack, 0 defense from your hand or graveyard except Infernal Grave Squirmer. You can only use each effect of Grave Squirmer once per turn. Now, because we destroyed the Spirit of Yubel, we're going to get its effect in order to bring out our Yubel, and now we can special summon out our Grave Squirmer so that we can also destroy the Yubel on board, use the effect of Yubel, bring out the Terror Incarnate, and now we can go into our Yama. We can then use the effect of Yama, which will get us the Sharvara, and now we can use the effect of the Squirmer to revive ourselves a Yubel, as we'll get back the Spirit of Yubel, use the effect of Sharvara, popping the Spirit of Yubel, use the effect of Spirit of Yubel since it's not once per turn to bring back the Yubel, so just something really nice to see there. But we're going to then go into our Abyss Actor Super Producer, and the entire point of this is because it allows you to destroy a card during your main phase, as long as it's face up. Our Yubel monsters like to be destroyed, which we are going to destroy the Yubel right now in order to bring back Terror Incarnate, but then you can also trigger the Yama, which will allow you to get that revival for the Sharvara, also get you the destruction of the trap card that we set off of the Sharvara, and this will give us access into the water one. I forget the name of it, but we're then going to link away into the Rage, use the effect of the water one, popping the Terror Incarnate, and then we can use the Terror Incarnate to bring out the Ultimate Nightmare, go into our DDD rank 6, and with this, we can pass on to our opponent, having the ability to link away one of their special summon monsters with Rage. We also have the ability to stop our opponent from using a spell, trap card, or monster effect that would include an effect to special summon a monster. And of course, we have the Nightmare Pains effect, which will make it so that they have to attack our Yubel monsters, which is really cool because we have the Ultimate Nightmare, which will make it so that we inflict damage equal to that monster's attack to our opponent, and we also get to destroy that monster. This second combo features Terraforming, and this will probably be the strongest 1-card combo that this deck has, as we're we're going to be able to activate the field spell, and this is a new card coming out in Legacy of Destruction called Nightmare Throne. It reads, when this card is activated, you can take one fiend monster with 0 attack and 0 defense from your deck and either add it to your hand or destroy it. So that effect alone is really strong, as it can trigger your Yubel. You can add your Samsara Lotus or whatever else you really need to add, but once per turn, if a face-up Yubel monsters you control leaves the field by card effect, you can special summon to your hand one of your Yubel monsters that is banished or in your deck or graveyard, whose level is 1 higher or 1 lower than one of those monsters that left the field. Then you can special summon it, ignoring its summoning condition. You can only activate one Nightmare Throne once per turn, and that is a very important effect, and something important that you should note, that you're either adding something with a level above or a level lower when you use the effect to add. But we're going to now summon the Samsara Lotus, use the effect of the Lotus to bring out the Spirit of Yubel, use the effect of the Spirit in order to get ourselves into the Nightmare Pain, and then we can activate the Nightmare Pain. You'll see that we're going to do a lot of the same stuff that we did recently, as we're going to add ourselves the Squirmer, use the effect of the Yubel, but now we can also use the field spell to bring out our Terror Incarnate, special summon it, ignoring its summoning conditions, bring out the Yubel. As we're then going to special summon out the Grave Squirmer, we can then pop the Terror Incarnate to get our ultimate Nightmare, and now we can link away into the Yama. We'll then be able to get ourselves Sharvara, as we're going to then be able to use the effect of Sharvara, popping the Yubel. Yubel will then trigger, being able to special summon back out the Terror Incarnate, and then we can go into our Abyss Actor, as we'll then be able to use the effect of Sharvara in order to get ourselves the Unchained Trap, use the effect of Grave Squirmer to bring back the Spirit of Yubel, use the Super Producer, this will trigger the Yama in graveyard along with the Yubel in order to get ourselves the Sharvara, the pop along with Yubel on board, as we're going to get access into Rage before we go into our rank 6, as we're going to pop the Terror Incarnate with the Water Unchained, as we'll get access into the rank 6 now, bring back the ultimate Nightmare, and then we'll go into our DDD, as we'll then go to the end phase, bring back the Lotus, and now you can tribute away the ultimate Nightmare with the Yubel so that you can keep the Samsara Lotus. This next combo features Dark Beckoning Beast along with any other card that you can set. Now we're going to start here by normal summoning the Dark Beckoning Beast, and this is a really important engine. It can also get you into your important disruptions, as we're going to add ourselves another copy of it. We'll get the extra normal summon as we're going to go into the Yama, use the effect of the Yama in order to get ourselves Sharvara. We can then use the effect of the continuous spell opening, whatever it's called, to get back the Dark Beckoning Beast, and then we can use the effect of Sharvara, getting ourselves the trap, go into the Super Producer, use the effect of Super Producer, popping the continuous spell, use the effect of Yama to bring back Sharvara, resolve the Yama to pop the Unchained Trap, get ourselves the Water Unchained so that we can go into our Rage, and now we can use the effect of the Water one as we're going to pop our set Super Poly, and now we have access into Rage plus the DDD rank 6, which is pretty solid considering that we only had Dark Beckoning Beast. And now for this next combo, we're going to feature Nightmare Pain plus Spirit of Yubel, and we're going to start by activating the Nightmare Pain. We'll then pop the Spirit of Yubel. This will give us the ability to get the Squirmer and use the effect of Spirit in order to bring out Yubel. Use the effect of Squirmer to special summon out the Squirmer and then pop the Yubel. We'll special summon out the Terror Incarnate. We'll then go into our Yama. We'll then use the effect of Yama in order to get our Sharvara. Then we can use the effect of Squirmer to bring back the Spirit of Yubel. Use the effect of Spirit of Yubel, which will allow us to get into the Eternal Favorite. And this is a trap card coming out in Phantom Nightmare, which reads, once per turn you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Eternal Favorite once per turn. Special summon one of your Yubel monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. Neither player can activate cards or effects when that monster is special summoned. The other effect reads, if you control Yubel, discard one card and send this face-up card from your spell and trap zone to the graveyard as a cost. Special summon or fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters on either field as material, including a Yubel monster. So it's basically Super Poly, and what you're going to be special summoning out, fusion summoning out with the trap card is the Yubel, and I'm not going to pronounce that, but it's a fusion monster that takes one Yubel monster plus one plus effect monsters on the field. So you can use one Yubel monster on your board and then use your entire opponent's board along with that if they had like 4 or 5 monsters or something like that in order to make this, which is really cool. But if this card is fusion summoned, summoned, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each fusion material used for its summon, so it also gets burn damage. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. At the end of the damage step, if this card battled an opponent's monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that opponent's monster's attack, and if you do, banish that monster. So, a really strong card when you consider how you're summoning it, but we're then going to be able to use the effect of Sharvara popping the Spirit of Yubel, and then we'll be able to use the effect of Spirit of Yubel to bring out the Yubel, go into our Abyss Actor, use the effect of Sharvara, now we can use the effect of the Abyss Actor, pop the Yubel, we'll then be able to use the Yubel and the Gamma in order to pop the Trap as well as bring out the Terra Incarnate. We'll also get the effect of the Trap, which will bring out the Water Unchained. We can now go into Rage, as we'll then be able to use the Rage, popping the Terra Incarnate so that we can get our ultimate Nightmare. We'll also get access into the DDD rank 6 Rage on board. We have our disruptions set to pass on to our opponent. And in this particular hand, we were also able to get the Eternal Favorite to fuse away our opponent's monsters. Now, for the final combo, before I get onto the test hand, going into your Yama gets you Sharvara, you're popping and looping your Yubels. There's not really too much you have to learn after you learn the initial combos. It's really just how to get there with the cards that you're using, but we're going to get ourselves the Infernal Grave Squirmer, use the effect of the Yubel in order to bring out the Terra Incarnate, use the effect of the Squirmer, special summoning itself, Terra Incarnate destroyed, in order to get ourselves the ending Nightmare, the ultimate Nightmare, so that we can go into the Yama, use the effect of Yama to get ourselves the Sharvara, use the effect of the Grave Squirmer to bring back the Yubel, use the effect of the Sharvara to pop the Yubel, as well then special summon out the Sharvara, use the effect of the Yubel to bring back the Terror Incarnate. We can then go into our Super Producer, use the effect of Sharvara to get ourselves the Unchained Trap, as we'll then be able to use the effect of the Super Producer popping the Terror Incarnate. The Terror Incarnate able to trigger, as we'll use the effect of Yama as well, and then we'll bring back the Sharvara, pop the Trap, get the ultimate Nightmare, use the effect of the Trap in order to get ourselves the Water Unchained. Then we can go into our Rage, use the effect in order to pop the ultimate Nightmare this time around, which kind of does suck that we have to pop it, but because we didn't have the best starter cards to make the end board we wanted to go for, we're going to have to give a little bit in order to get the disruptions that you want to get in this case. Now here you'll see that we open the Spirit of Yubel, the Samsara, we also have Sharvara so we don't have to search it, and then we also have the Infernal Grave Squirmer and the Field Spell. The Field Spell alone is really strong, as you saw before, and because we have the Samsara, we're just going to go straight ahead and pop the Yubel, and quite frankly, we don't even need to use the Samsara in this particular hand. You'll see why, but we're going to special summon out the Infernal Grave Squirmer, pop the Terror Incarnate, as we'll be able to also use the effect of the Field Spell, getting ourselves back the Yubel, special summon out the Yubel, get the ultimate Nightmare, as we'll then be able to go into our Yama, use the effect of Yama, which will get ourselves the Water Unchained, and you don't have to add, but I'm just going to go into the Super Producer now, use the effect of the Squirmer, which will then special summon out the Spirit of Yubel, use the effect of the Spirit of Yubel in order to get ourselves Nightmare Pain, activate the Nightmare Pain, which will pop the Spirit of Yubel, and then we'll be able to add ourselves the Eternal Favorite, use the effect of the Nightmare Pain, or use the effect of the Spirit of Yubel along with the Yama in order to get ourselves the special summon of the Water Unchained along with the Yubel back on board. So we'll then go into the Rage, as we'll then use the effect of the Water Unchained in order to pop the Yubel, and then bring out the Terror Incarnate. So you see that's why it really didn't matter if you added the Water one or not. We're then going to special summon out the Sharvara, as we'll pop the Terror Incarnate, and then you can bring out the Ultimate Nightmare, as we'll go into our DDD rank 6, and then we could set the Eternal Favorite and pass to our opponent. So with all of the combos out of the way, we can get onto the deck profile, and the deck list is pretty straightforward. There are some pretty big cons, as you can see, with the amount of bricks that we have to play for the deck. That said, there is definitely a lot of pros, in my opinion, where there is a good amount of starters that the deck has in regards to the Dark Beckoning Beast, just being able to get you into the Rage, plus the DDD rank 6, as long as you have something that you can set, which almost amounts for like half your deck. The point is, it's just a 1-card, really 2-card way to play 3 cards in your hand that you'll still be able to play with. There's also the Samsara with the Field Spell that are just 1-card combos that can get you there. The Infernal Grave Squirmer is just a really good card because having the ability to extend by just special summoning it and not even having to destroy makes it not only a strong combo piece that you use when you want to destroy, but it's just a strong follow-up card as well, as then you even have its graveyard effect that you can use for that revival. It's just really good support that Konami gave us for this deck, and I'm just loving it. Geist Grinder Golem, which is another card that I didn't read, you can only special summon Geist Grinder Golems once per turn, and you can reveal one Yubel monster in your hand as a cost, special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field, and you can special summon the revealed monster to the field once per turn. If this card battles a Yubel monster during the damage calculation, your opponent gains 3,000 life points. The entire point of this is so that when you're inflicting damage to your opponent off of your Yubels, you're the one gaining. But if you special summon Yubel while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card to your opponent's field. So just a card that helps you OTK your opponent when you start getting into your Yubel monsters and you have a battle phase, assuming you're not going first. What you saw in this video was how this deck goes first now, the new support. You'll see here in the side, I have the options. I don't have much here. You can play the crossouts and called by if you don't want to invest space into the Dark Beckoning Beast. I really do like the Dark Beckoning Beast just because it gets you into your disruptions. It's just something else that you can normal summon, potentially bait a hand trap. If you have something like Nightmare Pain or the Field Spell, you can continue to play. I'd also like to mention that Shifter is something that you could potentially side in. I don't think that you maybe want to main it because there are some graveyard effects that you may want to use, and then you can adjust your deck accordingly for game 2 and 3, but you'll notice how a lot of the Yubel stuff special summon, whether it's hand, deck, graveyard, or banished. But just really important things that I would mention there. Then finally, the other things that I would like to talk about are the going second cards. When Legacy of Destruction comes out, there is a chance that how we play going second may be different. But what you see here can definitely be changed. The Super Polys may be one thing that really stays here because of its ability to go into the Yubel fusion. It's kind of crazy because Yubel almost turns into Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, but it takes your opponent's field without having to worry about the matchup, so that's pretty crazy. Anyways, since I showed everything that I wanted to really show on the combos, I'll get onto the card by card so I don't waste your time talking. We have the one Yubel, we then have the one Terror Incarnate, the Ultimate Nightmare, the 2 Spirit of Yubel, the 1 Geist Grinder Golem, we then have the 3 Nightmare Throne, the 3 Nightmare Pain, the 1 Eternal Favorite, 1 Chamber, the 1 Sharvara, the 1 Shyama, we then have the 2 Squirmer, the 1 1-for-1, the 1 Terraforming, we then have the 2 Openings, we then have the 3 Dark Beckoning Beasts, we then have the 3 Samsara, we then have the 3 Ash Blossoms, 3 Droll, the 3 Super Poly, 3 Imperms. Onto the extra deck, we have the DDD, we then have the Zeus, which you can change out if you want another Link monster, cause we do go into our DDD pretty often. Then we have the Typhon, we have our Mud Dragon, the Garura, and the Dragostapelia for the Super Poly, as well as our 2 Yubels. We then have the Link Karibo along with Mirage, which is something that you can make with the Dark Beckoning Beast or one of your level 1s that you normal summon. But then we have the SP Little Knight, we have the Super Producer, the 2 copies of Yama, and then we have the 1 copy of Rage to round out the deck profile. For everyone who's made it this far, I'd like to thank you for watching and for the 600 plus, really almost 700 plus subs. Really appreciate your support. Now that we've monetized the channel, giving us access to supers and memberships means that more awesome stuff is on the horizon. To get the channel membership, just click on the description below and there will be a link that takes you there. You'll also notice a free Discord link that I've made for us too. If you want to support me as a content creator, even if you can't donate supers or get a membership for the channel, clicking on those thumbs up and subscribe buttons help a lot too. For those wondering, I do plan on making updates to the channel as the support on the channel grows. Anyways, I hope to see you on the next one. It's Bones, signing out.